Hi, I'm live and I'm supposed to title this and I don't know how. I am the worst every time. Hi everyone. I am live town. Hello. Hang on. Oopsies. I'm waving back when I'm supposed to be joining. Thank you everyone for being here. To speak with Amazon Watch. Today it's a big day. Hey.
Hello. Hi.
Hi, I know I'm supposed to title this and I totally botched it.
It's okay if there's no title. I think we'll survive.
Such a Luddite. It's so stupid.
It's been a week.
Guys, I feel like we should almost pause for a second and just take a moment because I feel like it's been such a big and heavy week on so many different levels. To be able to sit here and have this conversation is pretty spectacular. It feels like such an honor. So
It is. It is. I'm excited to speak with Miss Salazar-López for a number of reasons. I'm in such awe of the work that they do. Last year, I'm part of another thing called GISH, which is the Greatest International Scavenger Hunt. Last year, Misha Collins and GISH, the community, helped raise a good amount of money for a really worthy cause. There's a group of women in a community in Ecuador. Their ancestral lands had been dumped on by this oil company, and they could not bathe in the water. They could not use these lands. And through Misha and Gish, we were able to help transport this community, part of this community, off of those lands and into safety. But over the intervening months since last year to this week, actually, we did it this week last year, exactly. In the intervening months, I've grown closer and closer to my love for the Amazon and just the wisdom around it. And you and I've had these conversations about indigenous culture being such amazing stewards because they're so, like, the community and culture is so connected to the land, being an extension of the land. And I feel like now is the time, and I think we're going to hear about that today.
yeah, I know.
Now is the time.
Let's see.
And thank you. There's a donation button here as well. Your donations are going to a really worthy cause, which we talked about yesterday on Town and on Zen platform. So,
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes. Wow, technology.
It just started raining really, really hard. I'm in the Amazon, as you could probably tell. First of all, hello. Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
Amazing. Well,
I think it's breaking up a little bit.
Oh shoot.
Let's see.
I can hear it now.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh
no, we're breaking up. Okay, here, let me step in. Can you hear me okay? Okay. Hello.
I can hear you.
It's so good to see you again. We are so honored to be helping the work that you're doing right now. We have a couple of questions that we want to get to you so that we can tell everybody what you're working on and why this is so important. But first of all, I just want to extend our gratitude to all the work that you've been doing, that you're doing now, and we're excited to share the message of what work you're doing at this moment, in honor of International Women's Day and Women's History Month, and this beautiful place that you're in right now. Can you just give a little bit of an introduction to Amazon Watch's mission for us?
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you again, Charlie, Jen, Gish, everyone who's listening. My name is Leila Salazar-López. I am the executive director of Amazon Watch, and I'm here in the Amazon, in the Ecuadorian Amazon. I traveled here just a few days ago with some of my colleagues from Amazon Watch to be in solidarity with Indigenous women defenders of the Amazon for International Women's Day. And I'm very, very happy to be here, extremely inspired to be here. I'll share more about that in a minute. But Amazon Watch, for those of you who don't know, we are a nonprofit organization. Since 1996, we've been working to protect and defend the Amazon rainforest in solidarity with Indigenous peoples who are the best protectors, the best defenders of the world's most biologically diverse, culturally diverse rainforest on our planet. And so that's what we've been doing for that time. And we work directly with communities in the Amazon on the front lines of extraction of fossil fuels, of oil and gas, and mining development, and hydroelectric dams, and land grabbing and deforestation. We work with communities and Indigenous peoples all across the Amazon who are defending their ancestral territories, who are defending rainforests for, as they always say, for their peoples, for their cultures, for their ancestral territories, but also for our global climate, for your children, for my children, for all of us.
Beautiful. And we're so honored for you to bring this message at this moment. I think, you know, the intersection of what Town does is this desire to combine and unionize both people and planet, that the care for people and care for planet can be one and the same. And I think there's no better place to start and to look at this moment in time than the people who are caring for the planet in those areas down there in the Amazon corridor. Can you know, Amazon Watch has been protecting the rainforest in solidarity with Indigenous people for over 25 years, as you've said. Why is now the moment to permanently protect the remaining Amazon so that protect it from being destroyed and destroying both culture and the territories?
Yeah, so the Amazon rainforest, as I mentioned, is the most biologically diverse terrestrial ecosystem on our planet, with all of the mega diversity of plant and animal species. It is also one of the most culturally diverse, with nearly 500 Indigenous nationalities and at least another 60 uncontacted groups of Indigenous peoples all throughout the Amazon basin. And the Amazon rainforest right now is at a tipping point, at a critical point of ecological collapse. And that's not to be taken lightly. As we all know, there are so many things, so many crises facing our planet, so many crises facing humanity right now, from the climate crisis, from the COVID crisis, and violence and war that we are facing right now all over the planet. And particularly in the Ukraine, you know, the world's attention is on Ukraine, but we know that there are wars all across our planet. One of the wars on our planet is the war against Mother Earth and war against the Amazon rainforest and the critical ecosystems that we need to sustain life on this planet. And the Amazon rainforest is one of those places on our planet that creates balance for our entire planet to function. And one of the reasons that is because of all the millions of trees across the Amazon. The trees across the Amazon are what produce the rain. This rain that, I don't know if you all could see, this rain not only falls here, and most people think of the Amazon rainforest as the largest rainforest and the largest river. Well, there's also a river in the sky. The river in the sky is 3 times larger than the Amazon River. And this flying river is what creates balance in our global climate. It creates the rain clouds the moisture from all the millions of trees in the Amazon create these rain clouds that irrigate the Amazon, all of South America, and create the rain and the snow for as far north as the Sierra Nevada, the Rocky Mountains. So when there is imbalance in this flying river and the ecosystem, it creates imbalance in the weather system, which also affects us as far north as California, where I live. And why is that happening? Why is that happening? Because of the devastation, because of the deforestation. And that deforestation, that devastation, that extraction, those impacts on the defenders who are protecting the forest have led to the Amazon being, the deforestation and destruction of the Amazon being at 20%, which scientists used to say, when we get to 40 or 50% of deforestation and destruction, that will be the tipping point. But recently they've said, no, it's 20 to 25%, and we're already at 21%. So I know that's a lot of numbers, but just to break it down as easily as possible for you all, the Amazon is at a tipping point because of deforestation and degradation. And although there's all this destruction, there's still so much to protect. 80% of the rainforest is still intact. And the majority of that is intact in Indigenous peoples' lands and territories. And so that's why we have joined an initiative, a call from Indigenous people saying, protect 80% of the Amazon rainforest by 2025. That's really soon. That's just a few years away. But we got to move fast to protect this critical ecosystem and life on this planet.
Couldn't agree more. And thank you to everyone who's donating right now. There are donation links also in the links in bio for both Town and Jen. Please, your contributions are vital. And I want to get into right now a little bit more about the role of Indigenous women in this movement and the role that Amazon places Indigenous women in as leaders. Can you tell us a little bit about, how you're amplifying Indigenous women's leadership and solutions?
Well, I'll just start by saying hello to all the women, all who identify as women. I honor you and celebrate you on this Women's Month, and really just off the energy of International Women's Day yesterday. And just like we say, every day is Earth Day, every day is Women's Day. We should be honoring women every day. So just want to honor you all first. Women and Indigenous women that we stand with, one of the things that they always say and just inspire me every day are, they say, we are connected to the earth and we are the cure of the earth. And it's so evident here when you're with women, women who live on the land, women who, take care of the land, who protect the land, protect the children, raise the children, make the food. And then also because of that connection to the land, are just steadfast and determined in resistance and solutions to defend that land, to defend their territories, to protect at all costs, everything from, that little plant over there to that giant tree over there to the plants that they grow to, feed their families and feed their communities and sell, right? And sell so that they can have income and economic security, food sovereignty and security for their communities, for their families. And so, for a long time, Amazon Watch, we have been working alongside Indigenous organizations across the Amazon. And those are organizations and federations who are elected leaders who represent their peoples across the Amazon. We also stand with women who maybe aren't elected leaders, but they're grassroots leaders, and they're strong women defenders who are, you know, promoting resistance and solutions, and also healing. And also healing, because, you know, the issues that are faced, there's so much violence that that women face, in addition to the extraction, the violence from extraction, the violence from government policies, in addition to that violence, that state violence, that corporate violence that's destroying their communities. They also face, and we as women also face, you know, the violence of the gender-based violence, sexual violence. And, you know, when I first started coming to the Amazon 25 years ago, that wasn't talked about. But now it is. And since 2013, here in Ecuador, women defenders called Mujeres Amazónicas, which basically means Amazon women defenders, they've been standing strong against this territorial violence, and now are really strong against the gender-based violence that faces all communities, really. That one of the reasons why we stand together on Indigenous Women's Day is because this is something that faces all women. And I'm very, very proud to say that we've been standing with Mujeres Amazónicas and Indigenous women here in Ecuador to inaugurate their Casa de Mujeres, which is their women's house, a place where women from the different territories and different nationalities can come and gather and meet and sell their crafts, which you all see here, these beautiful earrings and these beautiful necklaces. They came with all their beautiful crafts. They came with their plant-based paints, which are like these temporary tattoos that they paint when it's time to dress up. You know, this is makeup. It's time to dress up, or it's time to resist. It's time to march. So the other day they said, you know, you're here with us in solidarity. You're here with us, you know, for this special day. You're here with us for this march. So we have to paint you. And so if you all saw images of the march yesterday, you saw that, you know, there's just, you know, very beautiful, intricate paintings that the women share, both on their bodies, on ceramics, on crafts that they sell for their sustainability and for their economic development and their self-sufficiency as well. So we're really proud to stand with the women in their resistance, in their calls, and also for them to now have this space that's theirs here in Puyo, in Ecuador, where anytime they come from the communities, they'll have a safe space to go and meet and gather and rest. And one of the things that I brought down, which was a special order from them, is acupuncture. They wanted to have acupuncture needles to be able to do acupuncture in the healing house. And it was just so beautiful the other day in their inauguration to see some of the women who had traveled, who had just, you know, recovered from COVID, who wanted to try acupuncture and who had tried it for the first time. And it was just really, you know, with their traditional medicines and acupuncture, it was just beautiful to see that this was happening here.
Beautiful. Hey, Jen, you may need to use an AirPod or an AirBud because I think the sound of the is making your microphone unhappy.
Hello?
That,
Yeah, I hear.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna.
No.
Leila, would you mind muting for just a moment?
Oh, sure.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's all right.
Can you hear?
There you go.
Okay. How can people tuning in right now how can they support the women of Amazon Watch, or the indigenous women of the Amazon? What are some ways that we can, from other countries, support these women? What can we do? And also the Amazon at large. And sorry, you're going to have to unmute yourself again.
Oh, no, that's right. That's right. Well, thank you for your question. Yeah, there's so many ways to support. One quick and easy way that you could do that is by supporting Amazon Watch. One of, as I mentioned, for 25 years, we've been dedicated allies to Indigenous peoples across the Amazon. And in addition to our solidarity and our campaign work, we also have an Amazon Defenders Fund, which is a fund directly to support Indigenous women, to Indigenous organizations, meetings and mobilizations, the building of Indigenous women's houses. So the Amazon Defenders Fund is our solidarity grant making fund, which is a part of our organization, which you can support by directly donating to Amazon Watch. You can support Mujeres Amazónicas. You can, follow them and follow their cause, follow their demands, support the petitions that they have. There's one petition in particular where we're trying to get attention to the Ecuadorian government and to investigate the death of one of the sisters here who were on the front lines and was killed last year. And I know these subjects are not light, right? I know that these subjects are heavy, and there's so many heavy subjects that we're dealing with right now with people on the front lines. And we can all show our support by giving and donating right now, today, right, to this fundraiser that you all are doing to support our work, to amplify this work, to grow this work, because we're doing a lot. And believe me, being here on the ground, there's always more we can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So true.
One of the things that I loved, I believe you guys were talking about, or I believe maybe Charlie, you guys had this about thinking the Amazon in terms of the heartbeat, which I really love that analogy, because I think so often, and I thought of it as the lungs, that's what we're told, which is also a great analogy, but it sort of changed and shifted my perspective in that it becomes this life force. So all of that flow that comes from that life force, and the importance of keeping that intact, and the importance of the stewards of that, and supporting and trusting and leaning on them. I just thought that was such a great analogy and perspective. I don't know, it gave me a lot of hope. I felt like thinking it in those terms, and how we're all affected by this, and getting other people on board. What is something through your work with Amazon Watch that also gives you hope in this work right now?
Well, exactly. Just on that note, since you mentioned the heart of the earth, if we think of our planet, our one planet that we live on right now as our mother, if you think of the planet as a person, we all have organs that we need to survive, right? We have vital organs that we need to survive. The Amazon is the heart of the earth. It is the heart pump, as I mentioned before, for those of you who may not have been on before. It is the Amazon. Without the Amazon, we do not have a weather system, a weather system that is in balance. And we all know that our weather system, whether you call it the weather system or our climate, our global climate, it's out of balance. We've all felt it in some way, shape, or form. In California, where I live, we've felt the impacts of the fires. Those fires were not an accident. Those fires were not an accident, right? They're caused by climate change. They're caused by drought. they're wildfires. They're caused by the imbalance. And then we think of what's happening in the Amazon and the fires in the Amazon. You all might have seen. The fires in the Amazon are also caused by drought, but they're not an accident. They are intentional. They were actually set ablaze to destroy the forest, to make way for agribusiness, to make way for clearing for cattle and soy, industrial agribusiness and industrial activity. And, you know, you asked me what gives me hope. And one of the things that gives me hope is that more people are aware, because the fires actually have been happening for a long time. And we've been sounding the alarm with our partners for a long time. And it's felt like it was falling on deaf ears for a long time. And in 2019, when the world saw the Amazon ablaze, it just, the interest and the concern about the Amazon rainforest just grew exponentially. And that actually gives me hope, right? I mean, that's probably one of the reasons why Gish contacted us initially. Was, wow, there's fires, there's oil spills, and, you know, we have a love-hate relationship with social media, but the reality is that it's helped grow awareness, right? And that has given me hope. I always say, you know, the fires ignited a global movement for the protection of the Amazon rainforest. Mm-hmm. So we're fire too. Mm-hmm. We're fire too, and we've been ignited to act. And that, I mean, I see it everywhere I go, which people are inspired to do something. And, you know, people on the ground have been mobilizing and acting and defending and protecting for so long. And I'm inspired. You know, I haven't been down here because of the COVID crisis. I haven't been down here for 3 years. And I'm re-inspired by just being in the presence of the people and the forest. That gives me hope to see, you know, gives me hope to see the little girls at the women's house, you know, listening to their mothers speak, listening to the women speak, and then marching yesterday on the very front of the march, holding up the banners. And it gives me hope that, you know, our daughters are going to be continuing the work that we're all doing to protect our planet, protect the rainforest, and defend our rights.
Thank you so much, both of you, for the platforms and work that you're doing. Thank you for the tremendous wisdom sharing, these wisdom keepers, and
for being,
it's what's that?
For being such fighters and giving hope. And
yes,
I mean, just like it just exude, like it's certainly, I feel the beat. Like I'm very excited. A hope, and thank you so much for your stewardship, wisdom, and your voice.
Yeah, to Indigenous women too. I mean, I think this is the thing that we're seeing now, is not looking at these critical times and statistics as doom and gloom, but as a diagnosis for something that we need to address. Take it as a point of action and a course of action, rather than it's all over. You know, we have so much work to do in so many areas of the world. There's no reason for us to not step up in as many ways as we can, as many capacities as we have. So thank you to everybody who's donating now and hitting that donate button. Thank you to everybody who's gone to the donation page as well. Please support Indigenous women in this time, in this critical moment. Thank you, Leila, for everything that you do. And just to Gish participants who've donated, everybody, thank you so much. This is a tremendous, tremendous life-affirming moment. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, you guys. This is
Well, thank you. Thank you to all of you, Charlie, Jen. Hopefully when, you know, we have to keep our heads up high and the hope alive, right? That things will get better. And we can't expect, you know, our politicians and our governments to do it for us. We have to do it. We have to do it. We have to put on that pressure. We have to engage. We have to put that pressure on, you know, our governments, the corporations, the financial actors who are subsidizing this destruction, you know, from the Amazon to to Ukraine, and I just wanted to say one last thing about that, because it is definitely on my mind, and all of our minds, right? That all of this is happening because we've been out of balance. All of this is happening because we've been out of balance. We've been dependent on fossil fuels. We've been dependent on, resources that are unsustainable, and we've been, and we see it from everywhere around the world, and it's really going to take all of us to make those changes. We knew for a long time, we've known there's oil coming out of the Amazon, there's oil coming out of Russia, but more than 50% of the oil from here, from like the Yasuni National Park in Ecuador, from indigenous territory, more than 50% of that is going to California, one of the climate leaders of the world.
Yeah.
So we need to come to terms with that and make change. We actually have a meeting with the state of California this afternoon with indigenous leaders, and we're going to be talking to them about, and engaging with them about how can we change this? How could we change, this dependency and really show true climate leadership and make the energy transition and respect human rights and protect our planet.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for your service. May we connect more deeply to the land and then have it teach us. That's what we need. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.